Hi, I'm Gems. Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm just here to show you how I achieved this look. This is my usual everyday foundation look. To go with my foundation look, I did this very interesting eye, just like a blacked out eye with a little blue around it and some glitter. To achieve this look, I used my new mirror with dimmable LED lights. It was sent to me by a company called Hamswan. It's a dimmable makeup light with a touch switch that you can use to adjust the amount of light it puts out. It comes with a USB cord that you can plug into your computer or your phone jack and charge it that way, so you don't need batteries or anything for it. It also comes with a 5x magnifying mirror that's magnetic, and it sticks onto the front of the mirror so you can get a closer look when you're doing things like your eyes. It has quite a bit of mobility, so you can move it back and forth and bring it closer to your face or further back. And the light makes a perfect ring around your face so you can see your whole face and there are no shadows cast onto your face, and that makes a world of difference when you're doing your makeup. Overall, I really like this mirror. It's very functional. It works very well for what I need, and I'm really glad Hamswan sent it to me. So without further ado, let's get right into the video and I'll show you guys how I did this look. Alright guys, I've already washed and cleansed my face, so now I'm going to go ahead and go in with a primer. For primer today, I'm using Milk of Magnesia, and then I'm going to go in with Benefit's Porefessional on top. I've been layering both of those lately, and it's been really working out for me. So I think I have a video on that, and I will link it below. But yeah, just going in, focusing this around where I have the largest pores, which is like around my nose and my mouth. Yeah, I almost never go without a primer anymore because I've noticed that I've gotten really large pores recently in the past couple of years, I think, like around my nose and mouth. So I'm just going to go ahead and fill that in a little with this Milk of Magnesia. And I don't go heavy on this, I just use a very little bit of it. And the next thing I do, I go in with the Benefit's Porefessional, and this one just helps me make the makeup go on smoothly. And I just fill in my pores as best as I can. Not too much of it though. I kind of just go ahead and do a one-stop shop with the primer. If I'm not doing some dramatic eye or something, I just go in with the same thing. Alright, so for the next step, I just do a little color correcting. Anywhere where I have a little bit of darkness or dark spots, I just go in with the LA Girl Orange Corrector. I take it underneath my eyes, around my nose, like my laugh lines, because yeah, it's serious. A little bit around the corners of my mouth, and where my little stash has been trying to come through, I just go ahead and conceal that. Anywhere where I have a little bit of discoloration or darkness. So all these little dots over here on the side, I just kind of blanket them. And then I just go in with my ring finger here, very lightly, and do under the eyes. I blend that out with my fingers mostly. I do a lot of my makeup with my fingers. I find that they work best of all. I mean, I've been liking the Beauty Blender as well because I think it does add finishing touches, but for the most part, I go in with my fingers to do a lot of this stuff. I make sure to go around my nose because it creates a shadow on its own, being the shape that it is. So I go in with the corrector and get around my nose. So whatever I do, I make sure that I leave my cheekbones and the high points of my face alone pretty much. I think that's how your makeup ends up looking more natural, is if you allow those areas to kind of pop through like they naturally would, and you don't conceal those places too much. So I let a lot of my skin show in my makeup. Now that I'm looking super baked and super red, let's go in with my foundation. For my everyday foundation, I use Mary Kay Bronze 607. When I do this part, I go in with my fingers first. And everywhere that I put the color corrector, I just go in and cover that up and blend that in with my foundation. I make sure that I don't put too much product, especially in my cheek area and on the high points of my face. I go ahead and I leave that completely alone because I definitely see a huge difference when I do it this way. My skin looks more like skin and a lot less like makeup when I avoid the areas that don't need makeup. Let as much of your skin show as you can. I just have a very tiny bit of foundation. I'm not going in with a lot. I'm layering it and then feathering it out to the rest of my face and making sure again to leave the spots that are high alone. My cheek over here right now has no makeup. I'm just touching over it lightly with the leftover makeup from my fingers. This makes a world of difference in how your foundation ends up looking, and you look a lot less made up when you do it this way. And of course, I don't forget my neck. I use my fingers to feel the foundation going exactly where I want it to go. And that way you don't put too much on. I go in with my beauty blender and just the tiniest bit that's left over, and I just kind of pat the whole thing in place. This is just to set everything together and make it as blended as possible. And as you can see, like, this looks so natural when you do it this way. And the makeup does not sit on top of your face. People aren't going to be like, here comes the girl with the makeup. They're just going to see really pretty skin. And who doesn't want that? Who doesn't want that? People have come up to me and said, oh my goodness, your skin is so pretty. And I'm like, thank you. Thank you so much. Yes. But, you know. Now you don't need to tell everybody all your business. For my everyday looks, I don't usually use a highlight. I just use a corrector, and that's good enough for me with a little bit of foundation over it. I mean, I don't get that bright under eye that tells everybody you're wearing makeup. I just get that really polished look. I'm just using a little bit of the Ben Nye translucent powder in Topaz, like wherever I would highlight normally. I do it this way without the actual concealer. My skin and my makeup ends up looking a lot more natural. So I'm just gonna go in right under my eyes, and I'm gonna go as lightly as I can because, again, like, I don't want it to look like I'm wearing a whole heap of makeup. And again, I'm avoiding my cheekbones because, like I said, this is what makes your makeup look like skin. I'm using my beauty blender to place the powder. I like this technique because the beauty blender is damp and it just kind of holds onto the powder and sticks it right where it needs to go. And when you pat it in, it ends up looking very, very natural. And then I go in ever so lightly under the contour spot. Yes. Once that's on, I'm not doing any baking for my everyday look at all because I don't want a cakey look at all. So I go in with my Black Radiance powder in Golden Almond, and this is my favorite shade of setting powder, and I just use that to sweep everything else away and set everything else in place. So I'm using my brush to sweep away that powder. I'm just setting the whole face and avoiding the parts where I put the highlight, but using a very, 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 very light application of this powder. For contour, I'm going to use this brow kit by Coastal Scents. It has a brown in here and it goes very well with my complexion and all the reds in my skin tone. So I take a little bit of it, like, very lightly on my brush, and I'm just going to go ahead and contour. So when I contour, I try to go ahead and do it as seamlessly as possible and make sure that nothing is standing out and looking like a line anywhere. So I'm just going to go ahead and buff that under my cheekbones a little bit. So this is the side that hasn't been contoured, and this is the side that has been a little bit contoured. So that's the way I do it, to make sure that no lines are harsh. You just kind of look, you know, very chiseled, but no harsh lines. And I go back onto my face like that, just swivel it all around and get that color distributed. So now I'm just going to take that down, the same technique. I go up a little bit here to make my chin appear a little bit more narrow. And I keep that color right at my jawline because I want to emphasize that. And I take it down my neck a little bit. I go up here to my forehead. Okay, so this side hasn't been contoured and this side has been contoured. Now I'm just going to do the rest of it. I'm just going to use the same thing to contour my nose just a little bit. For bronzer, I'm going to use this shade from J-Cat Beauty, and the color is Dark Wood. I just take this, like, work it all around my face, like kind of following that contour. For blush, I almost always use this blush palette by Sleek. It is the Lace 367. This shade right here, I almost always go for that shade. I go right over where I applied contour and bronzer. Just kind of sweep that on ever so lightly, going back and forth like that. I make sure everything that I put on my face is super, super blended. And yes, so this is the side with no blush, and this is the side with blush. So that's blush applied. And then whatever's left over on the brush, I just take it throughout the rest of my face. And I blend everything together again. Now I'm just doing a very quick eye look. For my eyes today, I'm using the Coastal Scents 42 Blush and Shadows Matte Palette. This color right here in the middle, right here. I'm just going to take that and just put it all over my lid. I'm going to go in with this light color here and just place that in the middle here just to give it a little more highlight. Now I'm just going to go ahead and use this black liner and line my eyes. I'm taking that liner all the way down, like blackening my eye really. I'm just going to take a little bit of this Coastal Scent glitter in Tropicana. I'm just going to take my little brush over here and a little bit of that Danessa Myricks Bionic Gel Activator. Just the tiniest little bit of that in my glitter. When you're extra, you just have to own it, and this is my way to own the extraness. I'm just going to put that glitter right there under there. I didn't want this to be neat, I just wanted to look kind of glistening under the eyes, and that's it for this part. Alright, so I'm running out of time, so I'm going to go ahead and do my brows as quickly as I can and finish this look. I went ahead and applied my lashes and mascara off camera. Now all that's left to do is my highlight and my lips. So for a highlighter today, I am of course going to go in with my Becca Opal first and dab that on my cheeks. This just gives me that glow, and then I usually layer this with something else. Okay, so this side's done, and then anywhere that I put that highlight, I just go in and blend that in. So that's what it looks like when I do that little bit of highlight with the Becca Opal. Then I go in with another highlight, and today I'm going to use Gilded Honey by Laura Geller. I'm just swirling my brush in it a little tiny bit and focusing only on the very highest point of my cheeks. So this acts like the highlight, and the first highlight that I put on becomes just like natural dewy skin. So that's it for that second layer. So that's pretty much my highlight done, okay? What I usually do from this step, the brush that I use to do my highlight, I will wet that brush a tiny little bit with a little setting spray, and I'll just kind of go over where I place that highlight to kind of blend everything together. Yeah, I've been trying to blend it together like this before I go in with my setting spray because I think that helps a little bit more with the overall blending of the look. So now I'm testing that setting spray. Now I'm going to go in with the setting spray. This Gilded Honey is so pretty, guys. It looks so good on. Now that that's all done, I'm going to go ahead with my setting spray, and today I'm using the one by NYX, the dewy finish. So I'm just going to go ahead and shake it up and test it first and then spritz my face. After I do that, I go in with my beauty blender like this, and I just kind of pat everything that I just did all together as one. And to do my lips, I'm just going to use this brown pencil to line them. I'm going to go ahead and go in with that Gilded Honey again to highlight my Cupid's bow. Alright, so once that's done, I'm going to go in with a lipstick by Smashbox. So the lipstick I'm using here is Primrose by Smashbox. I want to keep the lips very glossy tonight. I'm going to apply a lip gloss by Black Radiance, and I can't tell what it is anymore because all the stuff is off of it, but it's just a shimmery brown. I'm going to put that right on top. So for my last and final step, I just go ahead and I use a little bit of my setting powder, not even a little bit, like just kind of dab around in there a little tiny bit of my setting powder from Black Radiance, and I go around my nose and my mouth and wherever I see a little too much shine. And that's it for this look, you guys. This is what it ends up looking like.